In this video, we will speak about we'll use the MySQL fetch associate function and password verify functions to check for an existing username and correct hashed passwords. So at this point, what we did in the register is we actually hashed the passwords, but our login page is still checking that plain password, or just fetching or preparing a statement with the plain password. So if we look at the database, we've got 3 users with plain passwords saved, and the last one is with a hashed password. So if we actually try this with test 5, it's not going to work because logging is only checking plain passwords, but it actually works with the first user. So what we want to do is we want to change the login page such that it checks for verifies the hash password, and then what we want to do is get rid of the 3 records here where the plain text password, where the password's been saved as plain text. Okay, so what we want to do is change a few things in here. Now the first thing that we want to change is our prepared statement. So we only want to execute an SQL query by binding the username only, not the password. So let's get rid of that. So now we've only got the username. We also will just indicate only the username. So username string and taken off the password. Now here's where the work really changes. Let's grab the name of this function that we want to work with and put it in as a comment saying use the MySQL fetch associate function to check if the user with given username exists. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll replace it with this function, what we had with this function. Now what this will basically do, what this line will do, and we'll get rid of that 0, because this will actually return an associative array that we want to capture into a variable. Let's call it raw. So what happens here is this will fetch a single raw from the result set, return it as a associative array, and we are assigning it into the variable raw. If a raw is being fetched, it means that the user with the provided username exists in the database. So if a raw is fetched, then it means the user exists. Else, here the user does not exist. Or username. Yeah, we can just say user does not exist. In here, we want to check if the password is now correct. So what we want to do is we want to use the password verify function. Use password verify function to compare the provided plain text password with the stored hashed password. So we'll have another check if password verify. Now we'll give it the password that we have from the form submission password, and if that matches with the hashed password, so now we can just access, because this is an associative array that will return a raw from the result set, and so now we can just refer to the key using the name that we have here in the database, which I've called pass. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's not it. So this part here goes here. I mean, we're almost there. That's what I'm trying to say. Else, here the password is incorrect. Now this is for us, right? But for the user, we don't want to tell them the password. For security purposes, we don't specify to the user what was wrong. So we'll say it's either the username or the password is incorrect, so they don't find more information. But for us, this is important. Like, we know that this is where the password has gone wrong. Here, it's the username that doesn't exist. Let's give it a test. So test 5, the password for test 5 was actually test 5. So now this works correctly, but it won't work for the plain text passwords anymore. So let's give it a test for, say, test 1, and now I'm typing in test 1, and so that won't work. And we don't want it to work for plain text passwords anymore, except for, yeah, if I say test 6, that's also not going to work, because we don't have a username that's called test 6. So we only want our program to work with hash passwords. So I'm just gonna delete these records because we don't want the plain text password saved anymore. And we can always create another user, test 6. Let's try test 6. I'm just putting test 6 everywhere at test.com. The password is test 6 as well. Let's register. Registration is successful. Let's see if we can log in, and we are able to log in. Let's look at it in the database. So we've got a hashed password and it's working correctly. So that's it for today, and hope to see you soon for another video. Thank you.